Hard work is not enough in tech and particularly in cybersecurity. The most talented person doesn't always get promoted. Being the one with the most talent doesn't automatically mean you get a promotion. The most visible person is the one who often gets promoted. Bias may exist. No, scratch that. Bias does exist, but so does strategy. Strategy exists to overcome that bias. And when you combine things like competence with visibility or performance with sponsorship, you don't just survive in tech. You lead and thrive as a tech professional. Let me start with something that might make some people uncomfortable. Hard work is not enough in tech and particularly in cybersecurity. In most corporate environments, the most talented person doesn't always get promoted. Yes, I know it's true. But the fact is, many times, being the one with the most talent doesn't automatically mean you get a promotion. The most visible person is the one who often gets promoted, either if he's talented or not. And since it's Black History Month, I want to talk about something that we don't always say out loud: navigating bias, sponsorship, and visibility in tech careers. Not from a place of complaint, but from a place of strategy. Because once you understand the game, you can play it better. Welcome to today's video on the CyberSec Migrant YouTube channel, where we talk about cybersecurity with an immigrant lens. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Here's what you can expect to get on this channel. I have a podcast, the CyberSec Migrant Podcast, where I talk to people, mostly immigrants, who are making strides in their career as a cybersecurity professional. You can also check out the sister podcast, the CyberSec Migrant Lounge, where we zoom out and talk about tech a lot more broadly. AI, product, technology, startups, and how technology is making and shaping the work we do today and the society we live in. I also publish practical career growth, how-to videos, breaking down certifications, resumes, interviews, and strategy to make your career as a cybersecurity professional worthwhile. So if that's something you love and you'd like to see, consider giving us a subscription and liking the channel, and also following us, hitting that notification bell so you don't miss it when we drop any of our new videos. And now let's get into this conversation. So let's start here. Let's get it out of the way. Bias exists. There's no way you want to talk about it. There's no how you want to put it, or how you want to spin it. Bias does exist. But the thing is, bias isn't always loud, and it's not always malicious. It's rarely someone saying something outrageous in a boardroom or saying something weird. Although today we're seeing a lot of people say that bias, a lot more mainstream, a lot more outspoken. But let's not talk about that for the moment. Let's talk about corporate bias that exists today. It's subtle. It's not always in your face, but you can feel it. Things like being interrupted more often when you're speaking, or having your idea ignored when you provide it, only to find it validated when somebody else, usually different from you, repeats the same idea. Or sometimes it's being perceived as being aggressive instead of assertive, or being overlooked for stretch projects. Research across tech organizations consistently shows that underrepresentation is palpable at senior levels, especially in leadership roles. And that is not accidental, my friends. But here's the key mindset shift. Bias is a variable. It's not a verdict on your potential or how well you can do something. You don't deny it, you don't obsess over it, but you account for it strategically. That is power. Now let's talk about something that changes careers. Mentorship and sponsorship. They're two different things, most times two different people, but people think they're the same. Let's break it down. Mentors give advice. Sponsors give opportunities. I will repeat that. Mentors provide you advice. Sponsors, they provide you with opportunities. That's the big difference. A mentor will say something like, here's how you can prepare for that role you're planning to step into. Whereas a sponsor will say, I'm putting your name forward for that role. See the big difference? It's a big difference. And studies from organizations like the Harvard Business Review have shown that sponsorship significantly impacts promotion velocity and compensation growth among individuals. Yet, many professionals, especially from underrepresented backgrounds, they have mentors, but they lack sponsors. Why? Because sponsorship requires visibility and trust at those decision-making levels, because sponsors are typically senior leaders, budget owners, influencers in talent discussions. But here's the fact. A sponsor can't advocate for you if they don't know you, they don't see your impact, they can't articulate your value. So it's very important for you to have the right strategy. This is where strategy comes in. You don't beg for sponsorship. You've got to position yourself in a way that you can answer those 3 questions for that potential sponsor, where they can know you, they can see your impact, and they can articulate your value. So how do you earn it? You earn it by delivering measurable results, making your impact visible, building cross-functional relationships, and solving high-value problems. So let's say you're in a meeting, a leadership meeting, and somebody says, we need someone who can handle this initiative. You want yourself to be the person who comes to the mind of your sponsor in that room. And that doesn't happen by accident, my friends. That is something you have to work on. Hey, CyberSec Migrant listeners. If you're enjoying the show, help us spread the word. Share the CyberSec Migrant podcast with your friends, your colleagues, and your network. It's the best way to help others discover our awesome content and to join the conversation. And don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and any other place where you get your podcast, so you never miss an episode. And do hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. Your support helps us keep bringing you more valuable content, insights, and stories, and all these tips from the world of cybersecurity. And thank you for tuning in. And now, let's get back to today's episode. So let's talk about that visibility gap. It's a dangerous myth because people say things like, my work speaks for itself, or thinking my work should speak for itself. In theory, it's beautiful. In reality, that's quite risky because your work does not speak. People speak. That's a big difference. If your accomplishments are buried in Jira tickets or hidden in Slack threads or sitting quietly in your head, leadership is not going to see them. Visibility is not arrogance. Visibility is communication. So here are the practical things you need to start to do today to increase your visibility in your organization. Start sending out executive summaries of major project outcomes that you were involved in. Let people know what you've done, when you did it, how you did it, and the impact it had. Secondly, start volunteering for cross-department initiatives. That way, people know you, not just in your department, but across other departments in the enterprise. You want to be known. You want to be recognized. Thirdly, when you have incidents that you've experienced or you've gone through and you've handled them successfully, share the lessons you've learned from those incidents. Share them with the people around you. Let people know you are a trusted resource when they want to have lessons to learn from incidents. And when you're doing that, don't just present the efforts you did. Present the metrics. Show us the before and the after. That's how you prove your impact. That's how you show that you have made an impact in that space, in that event, in that activity. That's how people can relate to you as being impactful. And then fifth, build a thoughtful LinkedIn presence. I know people say LinkedIn is getting out there, and sometimes, yes, LinkedIn can be overwhelming, but it's still a very, very veritable tool for building your professional brand. Because your online presence matters. Recruiters are always searching on LinkedIn. Executives are always browsing on LinkedIn. And your peers in the industry use LinkedIn, and they will notice if you are doing the right things and cultivating the right audience on LinkedIn. Because platforms like LinkedIn are not just for job hunting. They are also a way to showcase your digital credibility to those in the industry, to show that you are the man for the job at that moment. Because visibility on a platform like LinkedIn creates optionality, and optionality creates leverage. So if you take nothing else from this video, I want you to take these 5 moves. First, starting today, ask yourself, who knows what I do? So go and do an audit of your visibility. Because if nobody knows what you do, then it's time you start to think about making sure people know what it is you do. So ask yourself, who knows what I do? If you ask someone today, what do you know about me? Can they accurately paint a picture of you as you think you are. That's some work for you to do. The second thing you want to do is start to track your wins. Because the truth is, emotions will never beat metrics. Metrics will always trump feelings every single time. So if you're tracking your wins and you have it in black and white, you have it down on paper, you can show that I did A and achieved B, that will always beat, I feel he's a hard worker. Because where's the proof? In your feelings. Feelings can be deceptive. So make sure you're tracking your wins in a hard way to prove that this is what you've actually done. And very importantly, build upward relationships. It's easy to build sideways relationships. It's easy to build downward relationships. But it's very important for you to build those upward relationships, because that's how you get somebody who's going to be willing and able to be a sponsor for you. So while your peer networks around you are important, it's important to have someone above you who's going to be your sponsor to help you get into those rooms that you really want to get into. Of course, number 4, this goes without saying, ask for those stretch assignments. Because the truth is, growth rarely comes to the comfortable. You have to step out of your comfort zone, step outside the box to make those achievements that are going to stand out. So ask for the opportunity to get those stretch assignments that stretch your ability, that stretch your thinking, that stretch your capability and make you better at what you do. And fifthly, make sure you share your insights publicly, either on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or in an email to your peers, wherever it is. But make sure you're sharing those insights so that people know what you're doing. Because you're not just building skills, you're building a brand. And you want to be that person that people relate to when they want to do that. And this is so important to echo this, especially now during Black History Month. We're celebrating legacy. But legacy is built through intentional positioning. You have to be intentional about positioning yourself. You're allowed to be excellent. You're allowed to be seen. You're allowed to be advocated for. But you have to make sure that you give the tools that's necessary for those allowances to come to pass. You have to be excellent for that to be seen. You have to show up to be seen. You have to show up to be advocated for. So let's bring it all back together. Bias may exist. No, scratch that. Bias does exist. But so does strategy. Strategy exists to help you overcome that bias. And when you combine things like competence with visibility or performance with sponsorship, you don't just survive in tech. You lead and thrive as a tech professional, even if you're a member of a visible minority. So if this resonated with you, I would love to hear your experience. Have you had an experience where you've had to deal with bias or been passed up? Have you had a sponsor? Have you felt invisible in your career? What strategies have worked out for you? Please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you think. And I tell you, I read every single one of those comments. Now we're getting close to 2,000 subscribers and we're trying to get to our 5,000 subscribers. So if you're not yet subscribed, I want to ask that you consider subscribing to the channel and share this with a friend who you think might find this useful. Let's get this together to 5,000. Thank you for getting me to this point, and I'm happy that we're here, but we need to get to the next milestone, which is 5,000 subscribers. So I know you can do it. You can help me do this and let us know down there. And if this helped you, like I said, share it with someone else because we're going to build momentum together. Until next time, this is Femi signing out. Peace.